I hope everybody's doing well today. Well, let's face it, we all want to know about the end of the world. Why wouldn't we? What's going to happen to us? The disciples were curious as well, and one day they asked Jesus about it. And he was very happy to tell them all about it. He covered many of the secrets of the end times in his answer. Tucked away in just one verse of his reply, we see the condition of modern society, and this reality is a small part of the code that tells us that we're nearing his return. Matthew 24, verse 12 says that because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. The mystery behind this lawlessness is a sign of the last days, and it's a twofold sign. This is going to be a specific type of lawlessness that's really not been seen before, and it creates despair that's going to result in a lot of people just losing their love. Many people will become incapable of love, even with their family or with people that should be close to them. They're just going to kind of close down. When we look at it, this word lawlessness, it's easy to interpret it as being a time when laws aren't being followed, and that is a part of it. Since that's always occurred, it doesn't really serve as a telltale sign, though, that the end is near. It's an increasing lawlessness that we're looking for. We have a new type of lawlessness in America and all over the world that we've never had. In most major cities, crime is winked at, and lawless prosecutors and attorneys let people go free who commit crimes. We have both traditional crime and a new crime wave that exists without consequence. Criminals get repeated opportunities to commit crimes, and many never face a sentence. Often criminals are painted as victims, and the actual victim, well, they just never see justice done. And this can certainly result in the love of many people growing cold. Since evil is being called good and good being called evil, confusion is wearing people down, resulting in a lawless and a loveless world. We're seeing a new kind of lawlessness in America and all over the world. We all know these things aren't normal, but is it really a sign that things are rapidly spiraling towards the end, towards the rapture, towards the time that Jesus was talking about? The Bible tells us that there's a mystery behind evil. It's behind the scenes, and it works to destroy every good thing. Its purpose is to try to overthrow all that is right and hurt God's people. The devil doesn't work within boundaries. He just wants to keep people from serving God and loving each other. Paul paints a picture of these last days in 2 Thessalonians. He wrote, "That day will not come unless there is a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction. He will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God, claiming that he himself is God. Don't you remember that I told you about all this when I was with you? And you know what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes." It seems pretty obvious that only God can hold him back, and the presence of God's people on earth is holding him back. When the rapture happens, the Antichrist is going to soon reveal himself. His time, meaning the time of the Antichrist, is the Great Tribulation. That's the only time he's ever going to really have. We read of his wicked works in Revelation. It is his time, and it will be a short time, but it will also be horrible. He will claim to be God and lead a great rebellion. Those who choose to serve him will be defeated at the Battle of Armageddon. Let's take a look at verse 7. It reads, "For this lawlessness is already at work secretly, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way." This lawlessness, which is the spirit of Antichrist, is indeed at work today. And to be sure, it's increasing daily. Our government hands out crack pipes to junkies in the name of equity. Criminals are let run free. Laws are optional. This results in the love of many people waxing cold. We're in the closing times which Jesus spoke. The one who's holding back the Antichrist will soon take his people out of this world, and he's going to step out of the way, and then look out. Verse 8 says that the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Jesus is going to kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. And of course, we know the Antichrist will survive until he gathers the armies of the nations against Israel, but he's going to be destroyed at the return of Christ at the Battle of Armageddon. In verses 9 through 12, we get a very short summary of what the Antichrist is going to be up to during the Great Tribulation. This man is going to come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power, signs, and miracles. He's going to use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So God will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they're going to believe these lies. Then they're going to be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. Now, the Bible makes it clear that we cannot know the day or the hour of the rapture. But deception is running rampant, the likes of which most of us have never experienced. The coordination between government, big tech, the media, globalists, and the World Health Organization is horrific. Many have capitulated to the powers that be, and we can see the control freaks in government paving the way for something much worse even than the government we have now. The power of the entrenched bureaucracy we're suffering under seems incapable of being removed, and the audacity of our current administration trampling on constitutional rights is out of control. And this is not just in the United States. Things are even worse in most other countries. Truly, this is an evil initiative being orchestrated on a global scale. What will be the outcome? One thing that's happening is that the people are waking up to the lawlessness that's going on all over the world, and that's a good thing. The lawlessness has produced a fierce and heartless generation that sees nothing wrong with killing babies, forcing experimental drugs on unwilling people, and is advocating for the types of perversion not even thought about just a few years ago. Modern woke district attorneys refuse to prosecute criminals but go after decent citizens who try to defend themselves against mobs. Certain groups get a pass when they burn down cities, and while some people of the wrong political persuasion are being locked up in the DC Gitmo without any due process after being falsely accused, or facing trumped-up charges that are far worse than what they actually should be. Those who pretend to be tolerant are only so towards those who participate in their own deviant lifestyles and promote a rush to totalitarian oppression. Paul warned us that these days would come. As convenient as ignoring what is going on around us may seem, we can't get away with it. We have to take a stand. Now is the time to bow our knee to Christ and declare that Jesus is the Lord of our life. If that sounds bad, just keep in mind that every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Now is the time to embrace truth. Now the choice is very easy. During the Great Tribulation, it will cost you your life. And so that's what I have to say today about the Great Tribulation, about the Antichrist, and about the love of many people that's waxing cold. So I hope the love in your heart is still warm, and I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you in a while.